welcome to the Bat Cave, your secret hideout for Brawl gameplay and deck tech videos. I am your host, BlindBat8719. On today's video, I'm playing through my dungeon party deck led by Tazri, Beacon of Unity. Before I do, a couple asks of my audience. Click the subscribe button down below, help me grow the channel. And if you like today's video and you like today's deck list, just share the deck list with your friends. Greatly appreciate it. With the ask out of the way, the idea behind this deck is I did a top 10 video, and I said it would be kind of cool to put Hama Pashar, Ruin Seeker, and Barrowin of Clan Undurr into the same deck together because they both focus on the dungeon mechanic. And I thought the best way to do that would be to use Tazri, Beacon of Unity, as she looks for creatures in your party, and all that combined is a very much D&D flavor. To narrow things down, I focus mostly on being an Esper build, so it's white, blue, and black. I do have the mana base set up so that if I need to, I can activate Tazri's ability for at cost as opposed to paying the 2 extra. And to kind of make things consistent, there's really only one non-Esper card in the deck, and I'll get to it when I get to it. But basically, so Tazri, Beacon of Unity, spell costs 1 less for each, costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. Then I can play hybrid blue, black, green, and red. Look at the top 6 cards of your library and reveal up to 2 cleric, rogue, warrior, wizards, and/or allied cards from among them. Put them into my hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in random order. The focus isn't not so much to go along with Tazri, it's kind of more venturing into the dungeon. But again, so Tazri got chosen for flavor, and also because out of all the Esper commanders available in Standard Brawl at the moment, I felt that this was better to go 5-color with Tazri to have more flexibility than it would be to go with Alila as this Esper commander. The other thing I want to note about this deck is I intentionally made this rotation proof. So if you like this deck and you want to build upon it, this deck is set up to take you past rotation, so you don't need anything from Eldraine and anything from my core. Anything that's rotating out is not in this deck. So just to cover real quick again, so Hama Pashar, Ruin Seeker, room abilities of dungeons I own trigger an additional time. So the idea is I want to be venturing the dungeon very much a lot of the times. This will double up on those triggers. And then Barrowin of Clan Undurr, again, as a legendary creature, he ETBs, ventures into the dungeon, and then whenever he attacks, I can return a small creature, of which there are plenty in this deck, with mana value 3 or less from my graveyard to the battlefield once the dungeon is done. Usually the play pattern with the dungeon is to go through the Lost-Minded Pandelver first. That's the one I find to be the most consistent to go through. More so, unless the end game is close. If the game is close, like when my opponent's like about 3 life or less, then I'll go for Tome of Annihilation if I haven't started the dungeon yet. But mostly I'm going to go through Lost-Minded Pandelver, and then once that's completed, I'll start working on the long one of Dungeon of the Mad Mage, just because I feel like at this point, if I can keep going, I'd rather go for the big payoff than trying to draw another card ultimately. Now, the other cards that I have that venture into the deck, Fly is a 1-cost aura for 1 blue. Enchant creature has flying, and whenever this creature does combat damage to a player, venture into the dungeon. This pairs very well with, say, a Yuan-Ti Malison, as it gives me 2 dungeon triggers for whenever it attacks. Same thing with the Yuan-Ti Fang-Blade. These are 2 creatures that whenever they deal combat damage to a player, they venture. So it pairs really well with the Fly effect. Delver's Torch lets turns any creature that doesn't already have venture into a venturing creature when upon attacking. It's a little bit hefty at 3 to equip, but the 1 in a white is not too bad. Keen-Eared Sentry is in here basically because it just mentions the venture. Gives me Hexproof, which is nice, and my opponents, if they are venturing, can't do more than once each turn. This is probably a flexible spot that if you wanted to cut it for something more powerful, you could. But again, I was trying to keep more on the flavor idea of dungeons, so that's why I have Keen-Eared in here. Like I was saying, Yuan-Ti, if he attacks alone, he can't be blocked, which is pretty awesome. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Fate's Reversal lets me bring back a creature card from my graveyard to my hand and then venture into the dungeon. I have some small things that can die pretty easily, so I can pretty able to get things back, which is nice. Triumphant Adventurer is a very aggressive attacking creature that has Death Touch and First Strike as long as it's my turn. And then whenever he attacks, venture into the dungeon. So this is kind of one of the better cards in the deck. People don't really want to block this. And then because the trigger is upon attacking, if he is able to attack, I'll almost always be able to get the trigger as opposed to the ones that have to deal combat damage to a player. Cloister Gargoyle, again, maybe not the best card, but it does enter the battlefield, allowing me to venture into the dungeon. And once I complete a dungeon, it gets +3/+0 and flying, which is pretty nice. And then one of the all-stars is Nadaar, Selfless Paladin. He allows me to venture whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, which is awesome. And then he gives my other creatures a pump of +1/+1 as long as I've completed the dungeon. So while that's an incentive maybe to go through maybe the Tomb of Annihilation a little bit faster, I feel like the Oubliette's kind of not worth it for this deck. So at that point, I might as well just go through the Lost-Minded Pandelver to try to give my team the pump. Bar the Gate. It's the only counter spell in here, and it really only counters creatures and planeswalkers. But because it has Venture into the Dungeon, it can kind of be a small gotcha moment in the deck. Eccentric Apprentice. He basically enters the battlefield, ventures into the dungeon. He's a 2/2 flyer for 3 mana. And then beginning my combat, if I complete a dungeon, up to one target creature becomes a 1 bird, 1/1 power, toughness of flying on to end of turn. So usually I think the idea would be to make it so that my creatures that venture one upon attacking my opponent, that's what this helps out with the most. But it is possible to turn something that's big that my opponent has that might be a scary blocker into a 1/1 flying bird instead. Precipitous Drop is a removal spell. It's an aura that gives a creature -2/-2, but if I've completed the dungeon, they get -5/-5 instead for 3 mana. The Yuan-Ti Fang-Blade, as I've discussed before, basically enters when it deals combat damage to a player, I get to venture, and it has Death Touch. Dungeon Map is some ramp. If I'm in a pinch, I can use it to venture, but I don't expect to be venturing a lot because I can only activate it at sorcery speed. And then Teleportation Circle. This card, because I have a few cards that trigger venturing upon entering the battlefield, and I was trying to make this rotation proof, I included Teleportation Circle instead of Thassa Deep-Dwelling, because she has basically the exact same effect, but because she's from Theros and she's going to be rotating out, I put Teleportation Circle instead into the deck. Other powerful cards I have in the deck, Valki, God of Lies. This is me taking a little bit of advantage of the fact that Tazri is a 5-color commander, so I'm allowed to play cards from any color of Magic. So it could be a 2-drop early on if I need to see what's in my opponent's hand, or if I get to the late game, I can cast Tibalt, Cosmic Imposter, and have a really powerful Planeswalker on the field. Esika, God of the Tree, is most likely going to be the Prismatic Bridge. That's why I'm playing it, because I feel like the deck is a little bit on the lower power side, so if I can start generating value by getting free spells, free creatures every turn, I think the Prismatic Bridge is worth casting. And again, this is me taking advantage of the fact that because Tazri is a 5-color commander, I can include the Prismatic Bridge into my deck. Felidar Retreat, I think, is just a great card to help pump my creatures up or go wide with more cat tokens. And then Xanathar Guild Kingpin is just a fun card, for me at least, and it's something that can help me take over the game. If my venturing plan isn't working, maybe I can just start playing over my opponent's plan that might be more powerful that I can use to take over the game and win. Some other cards that help defend my creatures. I have Luminarch Aspirant. It's a cleric, so it helps out Tazri, and it gives my creatures slowly, but a little more toughness to hopefully avoid some burn spells. Linvala's Shield of the Sea Gate's a wizard that will, again, help with reducing the cost for Tazri, and that can, if I have a full party, which is not the easiest to turn on, but it is possible, it has the ability to choose a non-land permanent my opponent controls, and it can't attack or block or use its activated abilities, so it's good at stifling, say, planeswalkers for a turn. But really, I have her in here for her last ability, Sacrifice Linvala. I choose Hexproof or Indestructible. Creatures I control gain that ability at end of turn. So if my opponent tries to board wipe, I can just choose Indestructible, and my team is saved. Glorious Protector is kind of the same idea, that I should be able to flash her in and then save all of my non-angel creatures, so like from a board wipe. Since I am playing some more on the less lower powered creatures, that I kind of do have to commit more to the board to kind of make up for the lack of power, which leaves me vulnerable to board wipes. So I have Glorious Protector in there to kind of save my board. She is a new addition, so not entirely. I'm hoping she works out well, but I'll find out after the end of all these games. And then Kaya the Inexorable, I think, is just a powerful planeswalker. She can exile something, but most importantly, too, again, I was talking about protection here. Her +1 puts a ghost form counter on my creature. So I get to save my creature, especially if it's an ETB venture card. I get to now use it, cast it again to go back into the dungeon, but also leaves behind a 1/1 spirit token that can protect Kaya or my life total. And then for some interaction with my opponent, some removal, I have Check for Traps, more so, again, because of the rotation proof, as well as also very flavorful for the deck. I get to look at my opponent's hand, choose a non-land card, and exile it. If it was an instant card or a card with flash, they lose a life, otherwise I'm going to lose the life. Power Word Kill, a flavorful removal spell for 2 mana to destroy target non-angel, non-demon, non-devil, non-dragon creature. I do have to be very careful, though, because there are times when my opponent will have that creature type out there and it's the only removal spell in my hand, so I do have to be mindful of that. Doomscar, because I think every deck should have a board wipe, even a deck like this, just to kind of play catch-up if I need to. So I have Doomscar in here and then Blood on the Snow to, again, either destroy the board if they get ahead of me or destroy all the Planeswalkers, especially if they have theirs out and I don't have any out. And it's one of the reasons why I'm playing Snowlands in the deck, to be able to bring something back from the graveyard as well. Weather Runestone is in here as a flex card, mostly because lately when I've been playing this deck, I've been paired a lot against the Esika, God of the Tree, Prismatic Bridge decks. Weathered Runestone says non-land permanent cards and graveyards and lords can't enter the battlefield. Since Asika lets my opponent, a Prismatic Bridge allows my opponent to put creatures and planeswalkers directly from the directly from the library into the battlefield, this will stop that from happening. I do gotta be mindful if I have this out that it kind of nullifies my own bridge. But I'm tired of kind of losing to bridge decks, so I figure for right now, let me just keep this in here that if I'm playing against a bridge person, it's great. If I'm not, oh well, I got one dead card and I can live with that. For card draw, I have Of One Mind. Tazri's a human. There's a couple other humans in the deck, and then the rest of the creatures are non-human. So I like the idea of being able to pay 1 blue and drawing 2 cards. I think it's a great rate. Graven Lore is in here to get as more mid-game refill. Once I play everything out, I can draw 3 cards, and then if I have any snow mana out, I will be able to scry a little bit to help set up better. And then for ramp, I have Loyal Warhound. If I'm going second, this is great. I can search for planes to kind of get me ahead of my opponent a little bit. If I'm going first, it's not as good, but still a 3/1 Vigilant creature for 2 is pretty nice. Hoard Robber, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token, so it lets me ramp that way. That's also a rogue, so it helps decrease the cost of Tazri. Arcane Signet, I believe it was said by Marrow, or somebody from Wizards of the Coast, that Arcane Signet and Command Tower will still be available in Brawl, even despite them coming out during Eldraine. So that's why I'm including them, because I've read somewhere that it was confirmed that these will be available for us to use in Brawl. So that's why Arcane Signet and Command Tower are in the deck. And then Replicating Ring is another snow source that's multicolored, that if I get it out early enough and the game goes long, I could have a ton of mana later on in the game. And the mana base, I was just kind of, again, I have my snow lands here to make sure I'm able to cast the Graven Mine and the Blood on the Snow for added benefit. And then basically just focus on the Esper colors. And then what's great about the pathways, then if I need to get that green or that red to be able to cast a Prismatic Bridge, I have that available to me as an option. The Zavai Triome, because it has the black and the white in there, and I figure the red's eaten. I need the red more than I will need necessarily the green, so that's why I chose that Triome. And the World Tree, because I get to play 5 colors. Why wouldn't I want to play the World Tree here? And with the deck tech out of the way, let's jump into the arena for some brawls. Alright, so this hand I feel like is slow. I'm playing against OML, piloting a Thassa Deep-Dwelling deck, so this will probably be a deck that's going to try to abuse enter the battlefield creatures to gain value, and then after a certain point we'll back everything up with counter spells. So I'm playing more of a controlling deck, and I don't think this is fast enough. Alright, this one isn't fast enough, but I have check for traps, and this actually Precipitous Drop is good, because it's minus as opposed to destroy. And Thassa's 5 toughness, so I could always kill Thassa if she's a creature with Precipitous Drop. So I'm going to keep this for right now. Fly with Nadaar is kind of nice, because I'll be able to get a few triggers going. So opponent played an island, led into an Overwhelmed Apprentice to mill me for 2 and scry 2. It's a great end of the battlefield creature for a Thassa deck, which is awesome. I'm going to start by saying hello to the opponent, and leading off with a Zavai Triome, since it comes into play tapped, and I don't have any turn 1 plays, because Fly needs a creature. But I think next up will be check for traps on turn 2 to see what they have. And I'll probably actually make them lose a life for the most part, because they're more likely to have a counter spell in hand. And now with them keeping up 2 mana, I definitely believe that they're going to have a counter spell of sorts for me to worry about. So this may get countered to protect what's in their hand, so I get rid of 1 counter spell at least. Hopefully it's a negate, but oh no, I get to see what they have here. Shipwreck Dowser, alright. Zulaport Cut, alright, so they're going to flash that in. Alright, I think I want to get rid of this card, because I want to be able to get my creature out, no problem. And then Solemn, yeah, alright, so what I like too about Check for Traps is at least I have an idea now what my opponent will be planning for the next couple of turns. So I feel like that gives me at least, I like that knowledge of it as opposed to having to guess. I'm okay with some matchups of guessing what they have, but I'd rather not and just kind of go with the flow. Alright, let me hold off on the Darkboard Pathway just in case I might be needing that green at some point. So let's start off with a Nadaar. And now so I know that they have no counter spells, unless this card they have in the draw is a counter spell and I have no control over that. Start with the Lost Mine and let's scry 1. I think I want to get a land going here. I'm going to leave the Replicating Ring on top. I know I said a land, but as I'm saying that, I recognize the fact that my opponent's obvious play or play they would like to do, alright, this is Zulaport, would be that if they have that 4th land, again, so I feel like I was looking for a land. If I had scryed that to the bottom, yeah, at least now I know I put something on top that I know what my opponent's putting into my graveyard, and it's kind of protecting what I want to have. Now we both have no idea. Alright, there's Thassa. And then probably, I guess, either these both kind of do the same. He's probably going to go with the Apprentice because it has the Scry 2 on it. Oof, okay, those two lost me. Yeah, so it looks like my opponent might be going towards a milling plan in regards to what I'm doing, so I have to be mindful of that. And then they can't kill Nadaar, so that's good. So I can attack in and get another adventure trigger going. And either ramp up with a treasure token. Let's see what we got. I can do a treasure token, or I can get a goblin to add more to the board. And I feel like I know I could go with a Feldar Retreat. Oh, actually, I could just give him Fly and be good with that. So I think what I'm going to do here, yeah, so instead of doing the Feldar Retreat, the black, the blue from the command tower, and I have black from the thing. So I'm going to make this green for right now, so I have the option of using it later if I haven't yet a bridge. I think the green might be better right now. I'm going to put Fly on Nadaar. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'll swing out here. So let's go with target creature gets +1, -4, lose a life. I'm actually going to go with the Goblin token here, because I think that will be better for me, per se. Because I'm going to go wide, and then I'll put a 1/1 counter. I know I'm adding a lot, but I'd rather actually... Well, I would want to put it in the Nadaar. I think maybe putting on the Goblins, too. This way, then, it can trade with either of these creatures. And then I'd say go with the... Is that 3? We get the 5th one. Alright. So I'm going to go with the Cloister Gargoyle here. So I'm close enough to completing... Actually, I just completed the dungeon now, actually. So the whole team's pumped. So that's kind of what I want to be doing. I drew a card, so I have Barrowin now. Now that that's done, whenever he attacks, I can bring back any of the stuff that my opponent's been exiling from me. Or it's not exiling, milling from me. Now, I do have to worry about 5th land. He has nothing in his graveyard, so this won't get anything back for the Shipwreck Dazzler. So he won't be maybe playing that out for that reason. But 2 more pips of blue. Now there's his 5th land, so there's the Solomon. Okay. But then I have to worry about Thassa. Thankfully, I'll be able to kill it with Precipitous Drop, so I'm happy about that. I think now next turn 2. That Solomon's going to be annoying with all the land ramping he's giving my opponent. If I draw a land, I do. I think here I'm going to go on the aggressive play here and start with the Feldar Retreat. Play out the land for the white. And then put a 1/1 counter each of my creatures. And just start getting aggressive. Gain the life. And just start down the Dungeon the Mad Mage to try to get some craziness going on here. So yes, my opponent gets to draw a card, and I don't necessarily want that to happen, but now it minimizes the chance of them actually getting more lands, which was kind of annoying. The Scry one doesn't do me as much good, because they're probably going to mill it anyways, but I'll keep the land on top. It's something I could find useful. Yeah, so the Tazri is still going to cost me 5, because that's the unfortunate downside by choosing the Adventure. I didn't always choose creatures that had the creature types that would help Tazri become free, but because Tazri wasn't chosen for the reason. Oh, frickin' A! Alright, that's nice. Yeah, so I don't keep that as long as I want then. Alright. Well, that's annoying. What do I got next on here? Can't attack until your next turn. Create a treasure token. I know I was trying to save the Precipitous Drop for the Thassa, but I think I have to use that now for the Cloister Gargoyle, because I want to be able to be aggressive and still go through against my opponent. So let me do that here. And then do I want to I'll create the treasure token. This way then I can play an Eccentric Apprentice, go through the next dungeon next. And let me swing here. Scry 2. And again, this is really just to give me an idea of what could be useful. I mean, I don't see the point in saving any of those things, because I don't think I'm going to get to the bottom of my deck, so I'm just going to keep everything on top. Just because, again, my opponent keeps milling everything I do, so I might as well just keep, going along that way. 9 damage there, so let's go for another flying creature. Make my opponent kind of have the answer. I can't play anything, so let's create 2 1/1 skeletons. Because my opponent's going to mill me. Alright, if these 2 go away and I draw a land, I just put more counters on my stuff and I swing out to my opponent. They really need to get to something like an Ugin in order to board wipe me here. I'm trying to think if there's any. There might be 1 or 2 blue spells that still wipe the board, but I don't think I need to worry about that right now. And again, I still have creatures in hand to help me rebuild anything that my opponent might be doing to me. I wish the mana flow was a lot better than it would have been if they weren't milling me, but that is the case sometimes. I'm trying to... Ooh. Oh, they didn't kick that? They're not kicking it because they're going to get it back now, I think, with the Shipwreck Dozer, so they can kick it next turn. See, the interesting thing about that idea is I feel like this... Oh, they put it back in their hand already. The Maddening Cacophony is better kicked first and then actually using the non-kicked version. The reason being for that is because if you kick it, it does half. Half, in this case, will still be more than the 8. But when you get down to trying to finish off your opponent, half will just... You need to keep doing half a lot of times because if they have 8 cards, you half is 4, half of that is 2, and then half of that's 1. You got to do a half like 5 times. If instead you kick it, you do half, you kick it first, bring it down to half, then if all you have these 8 cards left, you just cast it for 2, and that actually wins you the game. And I think this potentially could be the game, maybe. Let's start with playing the Loyal Warhound out. And I get to search for a Plains. I give everybody +1/+1 Vigilance. And then I don't think I need anybody to get through. Actually, a 1/1 bird? Let's make that a 1/1 bird. Actually, alright, they gave me the good game. Maybe they're making them a thing. I was thinking the 1/1 thing so we could die, but I don't want to do that because I just have the power for the most part. But thank you very much, OML, for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, I'm going to keep this hand. This is a really aggressive early start. I'm playing against spyderwebbz, piloting a Kaza Roil Chaser deck. I don't usually see her a lot, so I don't know whether this is going to be an aggressive deck or more controlling. However, this is a very fast start that I'm willing to very much fly by the seat or pay my pants. So essentially the play here, actually let me start by saying hello to my opponent. They led off with an Imura Skyfalls. Play out my Ice Tunnel. So Yuan-Ti Malison on 2. Then on turn 3, Arcane Signet into a Luminarch Aspirant. Pump the Yuan-Ti, swing for 3, and venture into the dungeon. Snow-covered plains. Oh, dang it. Ah, dang it, I went too fast. I saw the white thing. Oh, Luminarch Aspirant, and that's why I misplayed. Okay. Alright. Alright, so now we'll do the reverse. Okay, not the absolute worst now. Maybe that was a misclick in my favor, actually. So, let's see here. Let's get the stuff out that I kind of need, like my Esper colors out first. Arcane Signet, and this way I have my reds going. And then actually, he's going to negate that? Oh, wow. Alright, so I'm very much now against a controlling matchup, it looks like. They are not going to try to be aggressive with me at all. Alright, so next turn, I think, well, at least because I drew the dungeon map, I still have the option of playing, I would say, a red source here. Do I have anything that's a little black? No. You find the villain's lair to draw 2, discard 2. Interesting. I guess he's searching for... You would cast this on your turn for the draw and discard if you're searching for that 4th land drop. So he is trying to make sure he gets his land drops going. So depending on what he discards... If he doesn't play a land this turn, then I know he's having mana issues. And he discarded a Burning Hands and a Cleansing Wildfire. Alright, so he got his land. Is he still having mana issues is another question altogether. Keen-Eared Sentry could be useful later on in case of a big burn spell. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to want double... Oh, actually, I have double black already. So let's make this the red source. And then tap these 3 for a dungeon map. And play out the Yuan-Ti right now. Yuan-Ti's a rogue, so that brings down Tazri down to 4. So next turn I could possibly go Tazri into Keen-Eared Sentry. I also, because of the Cleric here, pay out 4 for that. That brings her down to 3. Alright, I'll be able to do... So the 2 plays next turn. It's either going to be contact other planes, draw 2 cards. Alright, so I think my opponent's still hurting for lands here at the moment. And I'm kind of hoping he misses the land drop to kind of give me the idea of where he's at. Did he miss the land drop? No, I think he has, but I think it comes into play tapped. Oh, okay, it was a pathway. Actually, that's the better option. So let's see here. I need black. I have black and black, so because I want to be able to cast Barrowin now and check for traps. So I think we'll go with the blue here. Black and red. Let me check for traps. See what my opponent has in hand. That saw it coming. Rubbing like Amulet. Rockside Sorcerer. 1 damage to any target. I think I'd rather play around the saw it coming, and I'll get rid of the board wipe because I'm going to play out a second creature that he's going to want to kill for the most part. So let me swing in. And also denies him a mana source action now that I think about it. So I think that's the right option right here. Feldar Retreat. I don't have a land in hand though. So I would spend my turn casting this. I think I'm going to pass on the retreat. You know something? No, I'm going to keep the retreat. As much as I think I'm thinking more of the idea of like maybe I should focus on getting more things or let's see. Let's go with the Goblin, I'd say right now. Go more pressure on the board. I mean, all right, he could play the Rock Slide, I guess, and that kills the Goblin now that I think about it. So, whoops. But I think here with the Feldar Retreat, he either taps out to play out the Rockside Sorcerer, or if he taps out for the Rockside Sorcerer, he won't have enough to counteract it. My Feldar Retreat with Saw It Coming. And I feel Feldar Retreat, while I would want to put it to my bottom because I don't have a land in hand to activate it right away, maybe get something that's more synergistic to, you know, keeping the combat and the pressure on my opponent, I think if I'm able to resolve the Feldar Retreat, that will give me inevitability down the road. And it looks like my opponent's setting up more for the counterplay. So that's fine. Human, all right, instant, and this doesn't have flash, right? So I would say here, I'm just going to swing in. I don't have double white. I do be mindful of that, actually. So I get to go through... 1/1 counter, actually. 1/1 counter? Yeah. Put a 1/1 counter on Yuan-Ti here. So this way then it will be a little bit harder for him to kill the rock side. And then I would say here, let me play out the Keen-Eared. On the off chance they want to choose to counter this, they'd probably cancel Tazri in a heartbeat. But that gives me something here, and then I have nothing else really to worry about. So I'm going to play the Dungeon Map Adventure some more to draw a card. And now Barrowin can start getting me back creatures from the graveyard. Yeah, sure. Oh, I was too fast with that. It probably will be fine in the most part because the minute I try to cast a Feldar Retreat, they would counter that. So I knew a land was coming, and I was pretty sure a land would be behind the Feldar Retreat. But my opponent having the Saw It Coming up, I have no... Yep, Tazri. Okay, 1 counter. This takes 2 of a creature. So I'm under the impression... let's see if I were them. 2. They may try playing out the rock side. Or they're going to... Okay, they're foretelling the counter spell, it looks like here. Royal Eruption. Good call, because he was about to bring a creature back. Alright, so I lucked out from the punt in that regard. Feldar Retreat. And then they can't counter it. They can kill the creature. They still have plenty of time to kill the creature. I forgot about Khazri's ability. Alrighty then. So, okay, and the backup plan then is that Tazri will resolve. So maybe I should have led off with Tazri. I get to start a new one. Let's start with the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Gain a life. And yeah, maybe I should be considering using the other one per se because it's on average better. But I like the idea of the power level I could possibly get with this one. If I were to go with whoopsies, if I were to go with the Lost Mine again, yeah, it's consistent, has some good stuff for what I want to be aggressive. But I like to at least get through the first one, and then I just think playing Dungeon of the Mad Mage is just a lot more entertaining to be able to try to get some of the bigger stuff off here. And then again, I think, you know, high risk, high reward. So what do we got here? We have 4 counters. So I think that's going to go with the Yuan-Ti, which is interesting for me at the moment. Where am I at here? Create a treasure from Scry. Alright, so let me force him to use up the counters. I'm going to swing with Yuan-Ti, because if I don't, he'll just kill it anyways. I feel like or he's going to, you know, try to kill Tazri. So I mean, let him use it now. He has to use all the counters anyways. I can still venture. I play out the green. So I have green. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to use white, white, and a blue. Let me venture right now. And just keep this going right now. Scry 1. Doomscar, I don't think it's something I'm going to be needing right now. I'm going to get more creatures in play. And as I'm doing this now, because I don't usually get Tazri out with Dungeon Map, I'm starting to think, oh, this is sorcery only. Probably better off doing Tazri, give up my hand a little bit. So I might want to consider next time to kind of show that I have nothing, because he reveals the creatures anyway, so they're not like I'm hiding anything. So could be a reason why this is a bad sequence. So I'm going to go through 4 things and then scry something. Because I scried the Doomscar to the bottom, that would have happened anyway with Tazri, or, you know, randomly in the bottom. So the better play would have been to use Tazri's ability, even, and then show them what I have in my hand, and then scry, so they have no idea what's on top. Yeah, the Keen-Eared Sentry and my Goblin token are ripe for the taking from the Rockside Sorcerer. And depending on how they time it, they could actually, if it's like a draw spell, they could probably do a couple tricks where they can get enough to actually kill Tazri in one go. Alright, I can't do anything about that. There's no point in 2. I'm going to wait till the... Alright, so now's the time to use Tazri's ability. I got nothing. Wow. And I would have probably drawn a command tower if I'd done it the other way. Blood on the Snow. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5. I think this is a good insurance card, if anything else, if things go bad. So I think my current strategy, let's swing in. Then what I can possibly do would be to... I did not see the Hall of the Storm Giant. Well, now that my opponent tapped out for that, I think a Blood on the Snow is a perfectly reasonable response. Tazri costs 5. 1, 2, 3. I just said 5, right? I'm going to put her to the command zone. Well, I could bring her back with Blood on the Snow. Destroy all the creatures. Pay with snow. I think getting back the Barrowin is more important, as this will allow me to bring something back. Bring more of my graveyard back to the battlefield. And this is me not thinking my turn out through entirely, because I should have been able to get another venturing done, but because I didn't think I'd have enough left over afterwards, I'm not able to. So I have to pay better attention, but it's all going to be fine for the most part. Let's see, I can probably get back the Rogue next, which would let me bring Tazri back, and then I can start playing the card advantage engine. They could easily kill him, and I'm in trouble. Roil Chaser, there's 1. They could ping. They got to play land and then ping him for 1, and then they could use that. Glorious Protector is going to be nice. What do I have next? Scry 2? Alright. Let's swing in and see what you got. Let's bring in the Yuan-Ti. What else do I have in my graveyard? Everything has 1 toughness. Fine. That was annoying. Alright, take the damage. I'm going to venture now. Let's use green and red because I don't care about those. Let's get rid of a black and a blue. Keep them guessing. Let me venture some further into the dungeon. I get the Scry 2, which is nice. I really don't need the lands. So I will get rid of those for right now. And then just pass here. Now, because my opponent was tapped out, it's entirely possible that I should have gone with the Glorious Protector route there to put a little more pressure. But I kind of want to save it more so to protect Barrowin. So kind of use up their resources a little bit. That's where my thought process is on that. Because I see the Protector's in here to protect my board. Alright, let's see what we got. Enters the battlefield. This is not kicked. So the next thing he casts is 2. Alright, this doesn't trigger on copying, so I should be safe for the moment. Alright, so the opponent swings at me for 1 and keeps things up. Alright, well that's not too bad. I have the Triumph that I could cycle, which isn't terrible. Let's see now. Let's go with... Alright, so 1, 2... Oh, actually, let me back that up. Let's go with the green, the red, and a blue source. And let me venture now, as this will let me exile the top 2 cards. I get to play those. Hopefully if one of them's a land, that'd be nice. You may select exile the top 2 cards, you'll outright play them. What can I cast? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could go for a Xanathar. You know something? Let's go big for Xanathar. You know, because if this resolves, I can't play the fly, unfortunately. I mean, because again, if Xanathar resolves, this will get me the game, and he didn't have anything to counter, per se. Okay. So, let me swing in here. And I get to bring back another creature that will die. So let's go with the Yuan-Ti. So now you have a choice. You get rid of Barrowin. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did expose myself a little bit here. Scry 3. May cast one without paying its mana cost. I think this, if I try on the Scry, would probably be better for me. However, I have been doing a lot of mana intensive things between using this for 3 mana, trying to keep up 4 for the Glorious Protector. So as much as I want to keep the card flow going, that's one of the benefits of this deck, at least, by having these dungeons to adventure through. I'm getting incidental value just from the dungeons themselves. And my opponent might be getting nervous that I'm 2 away now from actually going off on the Mad Wizard's Lair, which was a major flavor fail. Alright, next instant sorcery costs whatever less. There's 2 wizards, so big X spell? That's a possibility. Oh god, did I get killed now with the Cackle of Power? I could see that being a thing. The other option would be I could do a Seagate Restoration to draw cards. Introduction to Annihilate. Oh, this is cute. That is cute. Because now he gets to have 3 counters, he gets to kill the Barrowin, and gets to draw a card. That was cute. I like that. Now, what's nice at least here is I still have the Yuan-Ti, and opponent's getting a little low on life. Kind of to the point where I probably could just swing in with Yuan-Ti. Oh, sweet. Alright. So I have the double white, so yeah, this is great. So now let's swing. Let's see what we got here. I get the Scry 3 twice. Yep, Hama Pashar was great here. So basically what was going to happen for my opponent, which wasn't good, I get the Scry 6, and then put the best 3 on top, and then activate Dungeon Map to then use Mad Wizard's Lair twice to draw 3 cards, reveal them, and cast the best 2 cards out of my top 6. So spyderwebbz, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, so I'm looking at the Weathered Runestone, and then I'm playing Ultimate Belgian 85, piloting a Valki God of Lies deck, and was just checking to see if it would stop the Tybalt side, but I don't think it does because it exiles the cards first. Otherwise, I have kind of a slow hand here with Replicating Ring. I don't have the white for this, so I'm just going to take the free mulligan here. I got Weathered Runestone again, and this actually would stop me with the Xanathar now that I look at it, actually. So let's see now. Yeah, until choose her opponent, look top card. I think this is another mulligan. Partly because Valki decks tend to be controlling decks. I did try building a Berserker or Trample-based deck. I think a Bulker Berserker tribal deck. This one I'm going to keep. This actually seems pretty good. So the question is, do I want removal or do I want ramp? And I'm going to go with the removal aspect. Yeah, I'm going to go with the removal aspect. Because partly I feel like they're going to do some hand disruption on me. And if the hand disruption, we'll probably go for the Arcane Signet. Alright, so I'm doing fine. Let's start by saying hello to the opponent. I'll lead off with this Swamp. And now I have the option. Probably what the play will be if I go unimpeded. Ooh, Magda. Nice. Okay. So we're going to go with the unimpeded play. There's probably removable. Let's start with Triumphant Adventurer. And then from here, it'll be Arcane Signet into a Yuan-Ti Malison. And then probably Precipitous Drop to slow down some of the ramp from Magda. I did consider, I think, playing Magda in this deck, but because I focus more on the Esper colors, anytime I splash for something, especially something like Magda that wants to be on turn 2, so you have to discard 2 cards. I'm going to say the Ice Tunnel, and I'm going to go with the drop. Yeah, I feel like if I discard 2 lands, I'm asking for a World of Hurt. No blocks. And maybe I shouldn't have kept the... well, I got greedy. I kept the untapped one because I wanted to be able to do all this stuff. So let me swing out. Go through the Lost Mine. Let me scry a little bit here. Yeah, lands are good right now. So, cake the land. Play this out. Play it a Yuan-Ti. So I have 1 rogue out at least. And depending on the situation, let's see, this is whenever he attacks. And this is whenever he attacks, so deals combat damage to a player. So, yeah, I figured he was going to kill one or the other. Alright, so there goes that. And then, let's see, now I'm left, I have land on top. Yeah, I think I'm fine trading off here. We'll see how things go. Also, the Adventurer with 2 mana, he's probably going to die real quick. So let's go here, let's go venturing. Play out a treasure token. Mostly because this means like if I have the option now of playing out, let's see if I do 3 for the Yuan-Ti, that means this will cost me 4 mana. Alright, so I'm choosing the Yuan-Ti play here. I kind of want to hold on to the treasure token just a little bit longer. If I can get a turn where I can play out Tazri the same turn and then in the same turn maybe use the ability to refill my hand, that would be ideal. So 1, 2, maybe another blue source, that's 3. So that's kind of what I'm holding out for. Drana. Okay. Drana is interesting. Alright, so this is the deal. Both of these have Death Touch. So he's not even looking to block. He's going to have the 3 mana anyway, so if he kills one of my creatures, he kills one of my creatures. Eccentric. And that's where I'm at. Alright, gets -4, -0. Alright, cool. We'll swing. And then let's give, submit 1. Let's give the Drana -4, -0. So, good blocker, but not a good attacker. Now I get to draw a card. That's even sweeter. Oh, can I? I don't. Oh, can I? I can do both. So, I'm gonna go greedy, and that's a wizard as well. Rogue, another wizard. Let's just go greedy. He's gonna get his commander out, so I might as well try to get some stuff going here. And no, doubling. I've seen too many things. Doubling up Tomb of Annihilation. Do not do it. It is not worth it. We'll go with the Yawning Portal. I mean, it'd been better if I had Hama, drew Hama Pashar before. This way, then when I did all this stuff, I could get 2 things at -4, -0. Zagreus. Nice. I enjoy me as Zagreus. Am I going to take... Oh, what does this say? Equal to... Knowledge of creature. Does he have any in his graveyard? He has nothing in his graveyard. That's fine. Mine are more valuable, actually, so no blocks. I do gotta be mindful that he might actually have some sort of... I'm trying to think of some artifact, like probably an Embercleave at this point they might want to get, or he can have a big scary dragon's the other possibility. So I do need to be mindful of that. I thought he'd be doing more of the Valki stuff at this point. But, you name black or name red? Black, okay. Alright, Triumph. Not the best for me right now. It does give me a red, though. Alright, so who can get through? That's a 1-1. That doesn't do me any good. I can make this a 1-1 flyer, though. I have no use for the green right now, so let's do it this way. I think making the Triumphant a flyer is pretty decent, actually. Have those go through. This has already done its thing. So I get to scry a couple cards. Again, maybe it should have scryed before I cycled. That might have been the better idea. At this point, do I really... I mean, I like land, but let me see what else I can get out of this. Blood on the Snow. That's going to be a good one to have. Alright, and then can't attack until my next turn. That puts me to 10. I think I'm going to go with the treasure token plan here. Basically because I get 2 treasures. And I think that's worth it at the moment. I might be willing to trade off the Eccentric Apprentice now with the Magda. And I gotcha. Scry 2? So what else can I get in time for the Blood in the Snow, maybe? Sure, what we got here? Nadaar is actually better right now. Put the Blood in the Snow on the bottom. And let's put the Replicating Ring on the bottom as well. So how far am I? Okay. I'll block here. I'm fine with that right now. I realize I'm losing my only flyer, and this... Ooh, yeah, that could be a bit of an issue. What we got here? Alright, yeah, so that might have been a misplay on my part a little bit. Let's see, how far? I can get 2 triggers. 1, 2... I can get all the way there, actually. Alright, so... let's swing. Let's go with the... I may play them. I need to keep 3 from the Nadaar, but exile the top 2 cards. Yeah, let's go with that play. So I at least get a land potentially out of this. If I play the 4, I can play... yeah, I can still play him. So let's play the 4 out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I put the wrong order in? Dang it. And then I'll decline those. Dang it, I didn't think about that. I should put the land in first, and then that would have worked otherwise. Alright, so let's scry the 3. Let's find what we got here for the top 6 cards. Oh my god, all these got to go to the bottom. All these got to go to the bottom. And then 2 more lands to the bottom. And the Gargoyle's probably what I need to stay alive for the moment, potentially. So let's keep the Gargoyle there. And then let's auto-pay Nadaar. Alright, draw 3 and reveal them. Let's play out the Cloister Gargoyle. And now, scry 1, lose life. Actually, the Yawning Portal gaining me life. I need to go down to 3 levels. 1, 2, 3. Both these go down 3, so I might as well go with the Yawning Portal right now, I'd say. So I get to gain the 2 life. Oh, dang. I could just get rid of all my problems right now, actually. By going with the Doomscar. As insane as that sounds, probably going to do that because... 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. If he gets rid of my thing, I'm dead. So I gotta go with the Doomscar. It sucks. Totally sucks. Now this says each exile of each player, so I can't use Keen-Eared to stop me from that. Yeah, so that was kind of annoying that this is the play I had to make, but I think to stay alive, that was definitely worth it. So I guess my bet here is let's make this blue source. Let's create a 2/2. Tazri, Beacon of Unity. And then let's just check for traps. See what he has. The Heartless Act. Alright, cool. Let's get rid of that then. And now it becomes, you know, 3 of those. So yeah, now it just comes down to be a little bit of a race. I'm kind of sorry that I had to wipe the board, but I was definitely going to be dead otherwise if I didn't wipe there. Take the action to the command zone, definitely. Alright. I'll be a little bit aggressive here. This is a soldier. Alright, so making sure I'm aware of that. Replay out Tazri. There's no need for this. I'm just going to play this one first. On the, I mean, he sees everything, right? So it doesn't really matter at this point. Let's make a 2/2 beast token. That's fine. And then I think starting next turn, I can just start giving everything +1/+1 counters. And okay, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, Tybalt's starting to get to be the thing now. I think he's going to plus here, though. That gives him better value than killing one of my creatures. Okay. Because you don't get... Yeah, you removed it, but... Keen-Eared Sentry. Keen-Eyed Sentry. Let's go with Delver's Torch. Equip that into one of the cats. And then... I got nothing for 2. So let's play out the Sinkhole. Give everybody +1/+1 Vigilance. And then I'm going to swing at you. Okay, set up my next Scry. I think I can cast a Sika. I have the 2. Yeah, I'm going to keep a Sika on top. Yeah. That will probably seal the deal for me. I don't think my opponent will be able to deal with all the value I generate from that. Oh, wow. Took the damage. Oh, freaking A. I didn't think about Tybalt. Yeah. Did not think about the Tybalt. Oh, man. Yeah, so that was a case of me having some blinders there. I just gave it to my opponent, potentially. Now, here's the thing, though. He's got to survive a turn. And I got 3 blockers. And let's see now. Can't attack. Create a treasure token. Double Vision's pretty sweet. But he's got nothing for him, and I think this is kind of a good game. Whew. Okay, yeah, so I got probably over-panicked with the Sika. But, yeah, no. Ultimate Belgian, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alrighty, and that is the video for today. I played 10 games. A win record was 7 wins and 3 losses. While the individual cards in this deck may not be powerful, but again, individually, the fact that I'm able to venture in the dungeon several times in a game, all those little extra bonus effects are able to allow me to kind of take over and cumulatively win the game and generate enough value that way to win the game for my opponent. Didn't play against any of the Sika decks that I was expecting, so the Weathered Runestone, I was dead most matchups, so it's your call if you want to run it or not, if you want to swap it out for something else. I ended up, when I was playing it, out of the 10 games I played, I had 9 different commanders. The only one that doubled up was I had 2 Kenrith games. So if you're looking for a little more variety in the opponents you're playing, or the commanders you're playing, this may be a deck to go play with. If that's something you're looking for. Any other changes I would make? I think the deck is good as it is for right now. There may be some cards that come out with the Midnight Hunt that may want to help me put some things in here. But if you have any ideas on how I can improve the deck or what you would change into the deck, let me know in the comment section down below. If you liked today's video, please click the thumbs up icon down below. And if you like the deck list, share it with your friends. If you really like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing to the channel and helping me grow. As always, thank you for visiting the Batcave and have a great day.
Thank you.